Embakasi East constituency. And generally in Embakasi, we live as a family.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thanks for honoring our invite. We are very much humbled. Kuna waheshimiwa tumetafuta, nasema hata kuja. But having time with us here make us feel appreciated and honored. Thank you so much.
Asante.
Mheshimiwa Babu Owino. Let's engage on matters the state of the nation, because at the current situation we are, there are many people, and especially watu wa Mlima. We normally do this host this program in a Kikuyu direct. Yes. But today we are having to diversify so that we can now get into those people who are there living in Embakasi East and Nairobi County. Yes. As well, because unajua watu wa Mlima ni wengi hapo. Yes. And we are going to engage on those issues, state of the nation, then we address the current happening, so that now we can enjoy into the whole program. Let's start with Embakasi East. You being the member of parliament, this is your second term. Yes. And a lot of project, nimeona kwa comment watu wameandika pale wakasema kutoka Tasia, kutoka Embakasi, kutoka Pipeline, na najua you had a very stiff competition. Yes. Uende upate hiyo kiti. The first round na pia ya pili. Yes. I remember there is a guy from Mlima alikuwa anaitwa Mureithi. Yes. Lakini ulingangana na ukamnyorosha vizuri sana. Yes. First round na ya pili pia ukakuwa. Yes. How have you been, and how is Embakasi East in general? What can you say that as long as far as I've been the MP, this is the achievement?
Thank you, Kogi. The people of Embakasi East constituency elected me in the year 2017. Yes. And by that time, I won with a difference of 4,200 votes, having lost in 2 wards, that is Utawala and Mihango ward. Then I said that the main reason why I've been entrusted with this position of being a member of parliament was to change the lives of my people. And as a person who has been born, bred, and brought up in slums, I understand the value and the pain of living in a slum. I understand when a mother tells me that their child has not gone to school because of lack of school fees. I know what it is to lack school fee. I understand when Kogi today you tell me, or a child in Soweto, or in Kibra, or in Madare, or in Roysambu, or Kasarani, or Starehe tells me that, Babu, I'm sleeping hungry. I know what it is to go without food. That is why, as Babu Owino, I value leadership. And even when you tell me that you've slept in a police cell, or even in prison, I know what it is to sleep in a police cell and or to sleep in a prison. Therefore, when I was elected, I had one vision. Right. A vision to transform the lives of the people of Embakasi East constituency for better. Right. A vision to ensure that the children of Embakasi East constituency go to school. A vision to ensure that that child who is in Embakasi East constituency at least grows up without so much trauma in their lives, so that they become a better person in future. Sure. A vision to ensure that that woman who is selling burger one day transforms into selling burger from a kiosk to a supermarket. And a vision to ensure that that boda rider who rides his boda on a daily basis, waking up very early in the morning, not knowing whether there will be hope and bring food home, that vision to ensure that that boda rider at least gets something on a daily basis, and one day, by the grace of the Almighty God, graduates from riding a boda into owning a matatu. In Embakasi East constituency, having won with a difference of 4,200 votes, I said that I needed to work, because mine was about changing lives. And what did we do as a result? We never disappointed. Right. We worked on schools. We renovated all schools in Embakasi East constituency. We constructed additional schools, additional classrooms in Embakasi East constituency in all the schools. In addition to that, we constructed a new secondary school that has a capacity of 5 classrooms in every stream, Form 1-5, Form 2-5, Form 3-5, Form 4-5. Right. We ensured that we worked on water projects, as I have said, that is sinking boreholes in every ward in Embakasi, and at least 2 per ward in Embakasi East constituency. We ensured that we constructed roads. I have done a total of 85 wards, 85 roads tarmacked in 5 wards within Embakasi East. 85 tarmacked roads in Embakasi East constituency, in every ward. We've ensured that every child in Embakasi East constituency gets a bursary to get quality education. And these bursaries per year, we get applicants of approximately 20,000 to 25,000. This year alone, we got, last year we got applicants who are totaling to around 25,000. And I went in person, issued bursary forms, then issued bursary checks in December. Because I know the value of education, I know what education has done to me in my life. I know that it is education that will help the child who is living in a slum or in any village in this nation. A village in Kangema, a village in Kiambu, a village in Kirinyaga, a village in Kisumu, a village in Garissa. I know that it is only education that will make that child leave that village and probably move to the city. And that is why I've decided to focus on education and educating our children.
And all these achievements and projects, are they all under the NGCDF, or you source, or you partner with other institutions?
Some of these projects, as you know, NGCDF only caters for security and education. Then as a member of parliament, through my connections, both national and international, I outsource even for funds. I do through the wisdom that the Almighty God blessed me with. I use my wisdom to ensure that I get people who can help me in construction of roads. And even we did health facilities in Embakasi East constituency. Yes.
Having considering the time you became the first member of parliament at Embakasi East, and now you're approaching the exit time, do you stand up point and say that, yeah, I have achieved? And even if I didn't achieve what I wanted, at least where Embakasi East is now is at level that whoever comes next will be able now to celebrate together with the voters in Delhi.
We have reached, I told you in 2017, I defeated my opponent with a difference of 4,200 votes. In 2022, I defeated my opponent with a difference of 35,000 votes. Difference. And I also won in those 2 wards that I was defeated in 2017. So that tells you that that re-election of any leader is based on development. If you don't do that which your constituents bestowed on you, then be rest assured that they will never re-elect you. And I can tell you today that whatever I've done in Embakasi East constituency, I can't boast about it. It is service to the people. Leadership is about humanity. Leadership is about service delivery. Leadership is about ensuring that somebody moves from step 1 to 2 and eventually to miles. So, and I know very well that whatever I've done, if there will be anybody to pick after me, then that person will really have big shoes to fill. And I know that Kenya, we have 55 million people. And they deserve, and they can also do a better job than even Babu Owino. So I believe that whatever I've done, I was doing it not even to show off how much I've done, but I was doing it because I have a covenant with my Almighty God that if He bestowed the leadership qualities on me and He made me a leader, then I should do the right thing, which is to serve His people.
I can see through the engagement in our live show, there are people who are confessing from the Embakasi East, and they have said, actually, Babu has overperformed. Yani, you have gone extra, and they can confess about the road at Tasia. They have called about the secondary schools that you have built. Maybe as we leave now, the issue about the Embakasi East. Do you have any challenges through the JSs, the junior secondary school? There are teething problem in other schools. Maybe in your area, do you experience the same?
No, Mr. Kogi. National government is failing us when it comes to education. President Ruto is a product of education. This is a man who used to sell chicken, who used to sell eggs to get money to pay school fees. This is a man who should value education. Were it not for education, he would have never left Sugoi to Nairobi. He came to Nairobi as he was going to the University of Nairobi. He was at Chiromo campus. I was also at Chiromo campus taking actuarial science. But this is a man who education is what has made him be who he is.
Right.
Therefore, the first and most important thing that he should value is education. But what does he do instead? He's killing the education sector in this nation. Before I come to the JCC, look at the university education. The university education, they've introduced a new funding model.
Yeah.
With the new funding model, your child and my child will not be in a position to get education, to be educated, to get quality education.
Sure.
Why? Because they lack fees.
Yeah.
Right now, if a parent used to pay, actually it is HELB that was sponsoring our comrades. That a comrade only needed to go to the university and later on can pay HELB after they get a job.
Sure.
But what do we see in return as at the moment? Right now, even if you get an A or an E, there is no difference between an A and an E.
Sure.
Why? Because both these two students will not join the university. An A plane material will not join the university because they lack university fees. And E will not join because they haven't qualified. So by the end of the day, we've already wasted all these students. And A student is already wasted. Why am I saying so? Because a course in medicine now, a parent has to part with 600,000 Kenya shillings. Kogi, to that mama mboga that we were campaigning for in 2022 and saying that we want to bring this mama mboga from bottom to up. Bottom, up. Yani bottom, up. Rudieni bottom, up. That is the language that we were told. That mama mboga will get an easy ride and rise. But what are we seeing now? A mama mboga who sells mboga and tomatoes on a daily basis only can sell around 200 shillings profit. 200 shillings, my brother, times 30 is 6,000 Kenya shillings. Okay? That is in a month.
Yes.
6,000 Kenya shillings times 12 months, that is 72,000 Kenya shillings in a year.
Yeah.
But you see, if you make 200 shillings per day, which means that in a month, as you make 6,000, you have to pay rent. Assuming you are paying rent of between 3,000 to 5,000, or you're staying in the slums, then it means that you will only have 1,000 shillings. You need to buy, you need also to buy your own food to consume. You need also to cater for other expenses. Then it means that this person only lives from hand to mouth. This person cannot afford school fees for a child. Then this person also has more than one child. So this parent, this mama mboga, will never educate the child. Why? Because of the high varsity fees that has been set up by this government. So it means that we go to primary school, we finish, we go to secondary school, we finish, but you forget about the university. So then why is that education important? Now, let me bring you back to JSS. So the new funding model, as the court banned it. When the court banned it, the universities are still practicing. They still want, they're still exercising this illegal new varsity funding model. They should obey court orders. They should not be in contempt of the court orders. Come to the JSS, junior secondary school. Now, this is even worse. My brother, we have 9 learning areas. We used to have 14, then they've merged them. Right now, we have 9 learning areas. A teacher at the university is trained to only teach 2 subjects. It can be maths, English, physics, chemistry, biology, science, right? Any 2. But you are being told, when you go to these schools, the JSS, that one teacher is handling a minimum of 5 subjects. Let's say that this teacher is a super genius. A teacher reports to class at 8 a.m. By 8 a.m., a teacher is in class, leaves at around 4 to 5 p.m. Then this teacher has to go home, prepare for 5 subjects that the teacher will teach the following day. if for you to prepare for one subject, you need at least 1 hour because you're going to teach a subject for 40 minutes. Then in this 1 hour, you are teaching 5 subjects, which means you need a total of 5 hours to prepare. So if you leave school at 5 p.m., you go back home, you'll reach at around 6 p.m. If there's traffic, right?
Yeah.
So 6 p.m. to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 to 11, which means from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., your work is just preparing for a lesson that you're supposed to teach the following day.
Yeah.
Then your family to take care of here.
Yeah.
Children, you have a husband, you have to deal with household chores.
Sure.
Okay? So by the end of the day, you will not be sleeping.
Sure.
So this teacher is expected to impact fresh knowledge on your child the following day. Is that possible?
Not
It's
possible.
not possible. So it fails from there. Number 2, the teacher-student ratio during our time when we were learning was 1 to 40 or 45.
Yes.
1 teacher to 45 students
Yeah.
or learners. Right now, the student-teacher ratio, teacher-student ratio is 1 to 90.
Student or
One teacher is teaching 90 students or even 100 students.
even more.
Or even more. How will this one teacher handle all this person, and where will the 90th student sit? Maybe the farthest.
Yeah.
So which means there is no quality education. Quality is reduced. The third one is,
Okay.
look at the classes, the classrooms. The classrooms are not well done. For this CBC to work, which is called the competency-based curriculum, that has become the incompetency-based curriculum, IBC. Okay?
IBC.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
These classrooms, these laboratories, where are they? Laboratories haven't been constructed. We are doing practical subjects. We are doing chemistry, you need practicals. We are doing physics, you need practicals. You are doing biology, you need practicals. You are doing home science. You need to know what a hem stitch is, a zigzag stitch is. You are doing agriculture. You remember in agriculture what we were doing? You need to dissect even a rabbit.
Yeah.
Okay? So what are we trying to do with our children? We are using our children as control experiments. So this CBC has failed. And I'm telling you today, this is the only system where a child has dropped out of school, yet is still school going. Psychologically, a child has dropped out of school,
but physically
still school growing. This is the only system where we are providing an environment for a child not to grow mentally, but to grow physically. So children go to school to grow physically, because which knowledge are you impacting on our children? There is no knowledge at all. It is not of any quality. So the president must stamp authority. Number 1, the president must ensure that this CBC is suspended with an immediate effect. It is a good system, but not for Kenyans.
Now this brings us to the big question, and I would like us to reflect back on a various projects which has been initiated there before, and they have full of teething problem, like the issue of Adani. Every Kenyans complain about the Adani. What happened later? It was abolished on the way. May I call it to be a transition of the CBC, of the 844 to the CBC, transition from the help to the current funding model that is causing all this? Because last week but one, when President toured Western Region, a brave member of parliament from Mia East came strongly and said, now President, you need now to abolish the SHA chief because of it is not working. If you compare before and now, all what they have done, nothing is working. What can it be the problem, Mheshimiwa?
The problem with this system could just be the president
himself. Okay, before we come to the
Kogi, there are 3 types of brains. The first type of brain is a brain that thinks for itself. It is called an extremely intelligent brain. The second type of brain is a brain that allows itself to be thought for. Meaning you have people who are competent enough to work for you and advise you.
Right.
That second type of brain is called excellent brain.
Right.
The first one is extremely excellent. The next one is excellent brain. The third type of brain is a brain that never thinks and is never thought for. It's called a worthless.
Where does our
brain.
president lies among the three?
So now you also tell me, where do you think is lying among
among
the three brains? So, you know, in management and in leadership, you cannot bring changes in everything. Where you bring changes in education sector, you bring changes in health sector, you bring changes in agricultural sector, you bring changes in manufacturing sector by encouraging importation of whatever we consume. In Kenya, we consume around 80% of imported goods, including eggs, chicken, toothpick. And our economy is divided into three sectors. The service sector, that contributes around 65%. The service sector, we have insurance, we have banking, we have health, we have education. Then we have the agricultural sector, which contributes approximately 19%. Imagine Israel as a country has 22,000 square kilometers in area. Kenya as a country is 584,000 square kilometers in area. Not even doubling. And it's going there many times. Israel was a desert. Israel is in a position to manufacture and export in large quantities. Kenya, we are only utilizing 19%. That is what we get from agriculture, yet we have serious landmass. You know, even a place like Northeastern that is dry and other dry areas can be made for agriculture by proper utilization of the water that we have, and we do agriculture through irrigation. But if we have a nation that only 19% is agriculture, and a nation that is only 16% manufacturing and construction, then it tells you that we are doomed as a nation, because we need to boost all this up. The president that we have maybe does not want, I don't want to believe that he's not thinking, because he's a person with even a PhD.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor. So this is a person who has just refused to work. This is a person who has refused to be advised. This is a person who should stamp authority and say this and this should work. Good example. We were selling our airport. The income that airport generates in form of revenue that the government earns is too high. We were selling an airport to a foreigner.
They said they were doing a PPP.
It doesn't matter.
For
but
expansion.
You see, the bigger percentage was going to the foreigner. It means that is the legal owner of that airport. It means that even president at some point could not step in the airport if the owner says, today you are not coming here. And it was also exposing our country to our enemies. Because that person will know who to admit and who not to admit. Thirdly, we were going to lose jobs because Adani could just decide, would just decide that today I want to remove everybody, every Kenyan who is working here at the airport, and I want to bring, for example, Indians. And they would rightfully occupy the airport because they've already purchased it. So, in his wisdom or lack of the same, he just saw that, you know, he should sell the airport, which is a wrong idea. Look at shisha. Mr. President, this shisha imechosha lungs ya watu.
Watu wana complain asubuhi na jioni.
Wachana na hii kitu kabisa. People are dying in hospitals just because of the implementation of shisha. We don't know, maybe you had a good idea behind it, but what about the implementation? Same to CBC. So health sector is crashing, education sector is crashing. You know the role of education in economic development. In every sector is about education. When it comes to journalism like yours, about education. Even handling this equipment, about education. It is education.
Yeah.
In agricultural sector, education. In health sector, education. The medics.
Yeah.
In every sector, it's about education. And we've already killed it. We've already killed our health sector. So what is it that we are remaining with as a nation?
Nothing is working in this nation.
Nothing is working in this nation.
And I start to be guided by you, Mheshimiwa Babu Owino. I would like to know, in Parliament we have several committees. And before every implementation, any project, I hope those committees review before any project to be implemented or being signed into consent by the president. Like the issue of Adani, I understand there is a transport committee in the House. Issue about the Ketraco, I understand there is an energy committee in the House. Does now bring to us a full picture that the Parliament of Kenya does no longer have its independence, its mandate to utilize and to represent the people of Kenya without being compromised by the executive?
You know, first of all, if we take our important assets like airport and even Ketraco and even any other parastatal, it tells you that we are practicing what we call foreign absorption in economics. In economics, when you make money for a multinational, a company that does not belong to Kenya, that money leaves Kenya, goes outside, which means any profit made by that company will be utilized in another country.
Sure.
So there will be no money in circulation in our country. So it means that economy-wise, you're already killing the economy of this nation, so long as there is no money in circulation. It means that all the monies that we make it on behalf of foreigners, and that money is going outside, which is really, really uncalled for. Same to imports that we make. All the imports money leaves the country. So instead of importing, we need to increase taxes for imports only if we are ready to manufacture enough. So that if we say that a chicken that is imported, if it is, for example, 100 shillings, let's say 1,000 shillings plus tax, then what do we do with the local one? Let us boost local, we rear more chicken, we reduce the prices of that chicken locally, then we increase the price of that chicken that is being imported from another country. So we discourage them. That is called, we discourage what we call the foreign absorption, and we encourage what we call the domestic absorption, so that money can circulate, so that every other time people can do business in our country. Same to manufacturing. So all in all, Kogi, it is we are in sad state of affairs.
Right.
This country is sinking under our watch. President Ruto is going to serve his one term. If by bad luck again he steals, then it means that he has another 5 years. So in the next 8 years at most, if he uses all the other orthodox means to get to power, which I don't think so, because this time around things will be so tight, then it means that in 8 years he will never be in politics again. So why should we destroy a country if you're only going to be there for a few years? Why should we destroy a country if you're only going to be there for the next 3 years? Look at, why should you abduct Gen Zs and kill them if you're only going to be there for 3 years? What is it that you're looking for? These are your children.
Given a 20 minutes as a Babu Owino to see the president, what advice can you give him on matters, all failing operations in every sector and every project that government has initiated? 20 minutes of you with the president. What can you tell him?
I don't even need 20 minutes with the president.
Okay.
I don't need, because he might not listen to me.
Okay.
So what I can tell president, I will only need 30 seconds to advise him. And I would tell him that as a president, we have different pillars of an economy. Number one, employ competent cabinet secretaries based on merit. You need to embrace meritocracy. If you have cabinet secretaries like the late Professor George Albert Magoha Omore, what do you think we can get as a nation?
Can achieve more.
But if you employ based on patrimonialism
and loyalty,
favoring and loyalty, You take a whole ministry,
Yeah.
you put in the hands of an academic orphan, an academic dwarf, a person who does not know what is left and right,
Sure.
and you want that person to manage billions on behalf of Kenyans. What are you telling us? What are you telling us as a president? First of all, get rid of all the cabinet secretaries. They are all incompetent. Then employ fresh cabinet secretaries. If you must reward loyalty, I think by now you have billions. Call every person, reward them in form of money. Tell them to go and start businesses. But a ministry that is supposed to change the lives of Kenyans, make sure that you get competent people, not based on tribe. Because whatever we are practicing is still based on tribalism. The moment you can think that, how many Giriamas should I put in my cabinet? How many Kikuyus should I put in my cabinet? How many Luos should I put in cabinet? You are already tribal. You see, the fact that you can think about that. But the funny thing is, as much as you can balance the cabinet, the people who run also these ministries are principal secretaries.
Sure.
But when you look at the composition, they are all Kalenjins. So, if you're fighting a person to be tribal,
Then,
what is it that you're trying to show us? We as young people, I'm not married to a Luo.
yeah.
I'm married to a lady from the mountain.
Yeah.
I can't speak Luo in my own house because my kids, of course, I'm training them to know Luo, and at the same time, their mom is training them to know Kikuyu language. But you see, the moment you come and speak one language, you will not be favoring other people in the family. So what are you trying to teach us? People who are trying to destroy tribalism in this country that has brought this country down because of our people.
Sure.
When leaders are eating, they eat alone. When leaders are being fought, they say we are being fought as a tribe. So this tribalism the president should start by showing a good example to us. Us, we qualify to be his children, you know. But you see, if you embrace tribalism when you are a president, can a country move forward? So the first thing, fire all the cabinet secretaries. There's nothing they're doing.
I thought we had the tribe when we sent the Mamunyoro man to the village. He was the one termed as the most tribal person in the region.
You see,
Yeah.
Mgala muwe na haki yake mpe. Every of these leaders, every one of them is tribal. Tell me who is not tribal. Sa kidogo unasikia watu wa kutoka Western, viongozi kutoka Western walipatana. Viongozi kutoka
Ukambani,
Nyanza walipatana. Viongozi kutoka Central walipatana. Viongozi kutoka Pwani walipatana. Tell me, is that not tribalism?
It is.
So why are we using that card selectively?
Hope the president will digest and listen to your advice, because you make sure that these advice that umemwambia lazima imfikie, aangalie. But I know advisors wake hawatakubali. Hawatakubali. Now let's talk about abduction. And we focus on a recent 3 men who were abducted at Mlolongo, and the last one was found at City Mortuary, na inasemekana aliuliwa pale Ruai. Abduction, and mostly happening to people who are criticizing the government, people who are putting the government on toes, asking questions, showing that they are not satisfied with what government is doing. And these young men and women, they are fighting for their rights because most of them are jobless. They are trying to talk to the president because when they came on the street, wakiwa na maji na handkerchief, waliuliwa. Watu wengi waliuliwa. And they are our age mates, they are our sisters, they are our brothers. The recent case ni ya Mlolongo. The 3 men who were abducted hawapatikani, wa mwisho wamepatikana City Mortuary. And I hear there are some, I don't know what we call the forensic, that is going to be done to identify the other man. What's your take?
Kogi, it is very, very unfortunate for a country to kill its citizens.
Sure.
It's very, very unfortunate. And for that matter, under the watch of a president. President who branded himself as a hustler, who wanted to change the lives of hustlers. Hustlers are just reminding him that you told us that you'll give us jobs. We want those jobs. That you told us that university fees will not be increased. Why are you doing it?
Sure.
that you told us that we will get free medical attention services. Where are those medical services?
And after that question, they ended up
Yani, you are just being reminded as a president to do that which you promised to do. In return, you say we have to send you back. Sometime back he said he will send people kuna njia matatu. And
Mambo
actually
matatu.
is mambo matatu and he said it and is accompanied with action of sending them to God, their maker.
Sure.
My brother, if today I'm drawn inside a coffin, placed inside a coffin, or crucified on a cross, are Kenyans not just trying to remind me that one day I will die? And that all this is vanity? And that you need to do what you have to do within the shortest time possible, because very soon you are going to die. We are all going to die. There's something called memento mori in Spanish, that eventually we will all die. So if they remind me by putting me in a coffin that I will die, what is the problem with that? Why do you have now to kill them? And is that really as big as you killing them on the streets? As big as you abducting them and killing them? A parent has spent everything to educate a child. A child has been educated from nursery school to primary school to secondary school to the university. A parent has sold all the animals they have. A parent has taken loans. A parent has sold all the parcels of land they have to educate this child, only for you to return this child in a coffin to this parent. A child that is meant, or rather was meant to be a source of hope in this family. What is it? What became of leadership? Why don't we lead from the front? And why must we kill these Kenyans who are just talking?
They stated that they are disciplining them because putting the head of state and a symbol of a nation under the coffin, that shows you are disrespecting the nation.
But respect starts from the top. Respect starts from the top. I hear some other leaders were talking about parents bringing up their children
They say about morals.
In a way that they should behave well. But how do you want our children, our brothers and sisters, us to emulate you as the grown-ups? We are learning from you. We are emulating you. If you go in public and insult people, we know that that is the right thing that we are supposed to do because we are seeing our grown-ups doing it. If you insulted people many years ago, we are following into your footsteps.
Sure.
And we believe that you are a leader, and a leader for that matter who is supposed to change lives. Therefore, everything you do,
it's a payback time.
We take it. We take it at 100%.
Right.
Because we believe that what you do. The other day you had a member of parliament insulting our mothers.
Yes. In front of a president.
We learn these things from these leaders. Then you tell us about upbringing. If you talk about upbringing and your own children are not brought up well, what do you know about upbringing? If you tell us about upbringing and where you are stepping there's a problem,
right?
What do you tell us about upbringing? So, and that is not reason enough. There is law. Any person who's not brought up well, who's broken the law, should be taken through the process of litigation.
Yeah.
The process, the legal process.
Sure.
Where you take plea, then you proceed with the case. That is what the law requires.
Right.
Putting a president inside a coffin is not a crime. I think those people were reminding the president that eventually that is where we are all headed. Every day I wake up, and the other day I was discussing with my children that you know what? That in the next 60 years, I will not exist. And I saw one of my daughters crying. And that is the reality. And I say that even you are now 6 years old.
In the next 80 or 90
In the next 84, 80 or 90 years, you will not exist.
Sure.
That is if you live your full lifetime up to around 95 years old. And I was seeing them sad, and I told them, this is the reality. Therefore, I asked them, what will you be remembered for?
Your legacy.
What will be your legacy when you are gone? We have presidents who have died. Jomo Kenyatta died. Moi died. Kibaki died.
Yeah.
Everybody will die. When you are being reminded, just take it positively.
Now that many young men and women who have felt that the government is not working, and when they march the street now to criticize the government and to ask for accountability, what comes back to them as a payback is them getting killed. How will now people express their dissatisfactions with what government is doing if through intimidations, Subaru imekuja imekuchukua, mwingine amepatikana ameuliwa? How are we going to express ourselves? Tukijaribu kuingia social media, you heard the newly appointed, the CS for ICT said they have all the capacity, they can switch off all the internet. How are we going to express to our grievances and present them to these people? Because when they try to do this, the repercussions are making them now to go and sink underwater.
You know, Kogi, there must be somewhere where Kenyans must vent. Kenyans are having challenges,
Yes.
Challenges of overtaxation, challenges of high cost of living, challenges of unemployment. They have various challenges in their families.
Yes.
There must be somewhere where Kenyans must vent. Kenyans went on the streets to vent.
Right.
You went there, you killed them.
Yeah.
In the streets. They left you, the streets, they went online
Yeah.
to vent. You are also going there to kill them.
Yes.
They must have a place to vent, otherwise they will vent on you.
Right.
They will vent on you. So give them space to vent their challenges that they are going through.
Right.
And it is very, very irresponsible for the minister to talk like that. This is a man who has brains, if you ask me. Should not talk the way he's talking, just because he's a cabinet secretary. Eliud Owalo was in that position just the other day. Today he's not a cabinet secretary.
In fact, there are three of them who have been the same
Turi
boat.
was there, he's not. Kuria, my good friend, was there, now he's not. So these positions, tomorrow you are there, the next day after that, you are not there.
Sure.
So I think we should not be threatened.
Right.
We should not be threatened. And let me tell you,
Okay.
you cannot scare a hungry man, a person who is hungry. You cannot scare them. You can only scare and spread fear to a person who has something to lose.
Right.
A person who is living comfortably, a person who has a good job, a person who has everything proper running.
But a poor man.
A poor man you cannot scare. That person will scare you. That person will finish you, will eat you alive. So if you are telling them that, oh, that we will do this, what will you do? Why did you go and ask for help during the Gen Z's revolution? And that revolution will come back again if you don't do that which you promised to do. And you see, for us, Kogi, we've lived our lives. The only thing that is remaining for a leader like me is to serve my people.
Sure.
I've seen it all. I've experienced it all. All that even a 90-year-old has never experienced, I've experienced. There's nothing that I haven't seen. So I'm not afraid to lead my people to the city of victory, to lead Kenyans to the city of victory. I'm not scared of that. No amount of intimidation, no amount of abduction, no amount of court cases, no amount of jailing can prevent me from doing that which I know is right and that which should be done. And I urge all the youth in this country, the Gen Zs, the millennials,
The Gen Alpha.
the generation Alpha who will be coming up, that it is high time you take back this country. Hii idea ya kwanza, the youth wanasema mara tribalism hapa na pale, you must stop that nonsense. We must focus, and it is ruthless focus. And we must be there as brothers and sisters. And we must fight for this nation. We must change this nation for the better. Because if we don't do it, these people are going to finish us. These people are our enemies. And I'm telling you today, look at our members of parliament.
They have
been
future.
bought. Members of parliament are done. There is no parliament that we have today. There is no proper opposition that we have today. Then I'm being told that, Babu, you must follow this. I will not follow. So long as I'm alive, I will not follow. You can do anything. It doesn't matter. And even if you finish Babu, another Babu will come up. And I've already told you that I've seen everything. There's nothing remaining.
What is remaining is to fight for the betterment of this.
What is remaining is to ensure that we transform the lives of Kenyans for the better. We will not live scared on a daily basis. Kenyans do not fear. Gen Zs do not fear. Millennials do not fear. Our parents, you must make the right decision. From today, you must make the right decisions. We must stop hii mambo ya kusema huyu ndio kabila yangu. Nyinyi wazazi wetu, nyinyi ndio mnatuuza. Nyinyi wazazi wetu, nyinyi ndio mnatuuza. We must stop this idea of saying huyu ni mtu wetu. Huyo mtu wako saa zile kuna njaa akufikiri. Huyo mtu wako saa zile mtoto amefukuzwa shule akulipia school fee. Huyo mtu wako saa zile fertilizer yako imewekwa, wamekupatia mavi ya punda akufikiri ama mawe. Huyo mtu wako anakufikiria saa zile vita imetoka.
Right.
So our parents do not mislead us. Instead, lead us. Otherwise, if you don't, we will lead ourselves.
Hi, Mheshimiwa, let's us revisit the finance bill and also the Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. You were number one and you never voted for the finance bill. You voted against it because it was not good. It was going against the people's will. The recent one is about the Gachagua impeachment. You never participated, you are not in parliament, and especially watu wa Mlima walitaka kujua why you didn't participate. Were the accounts which were presented by Honorable Mutuse, the 11 counts, were they justifiable? Were they enough to make sure that they ousted the former deputy president? Maybe in a brief of less than 3 minutes, you can connect the two, the impeachment and the finance bill.
Kogi, to finish an advice to my Gen Z brothers and millennial brothers and sisters is that when young people unite, we can bring down the towers of exploitation. We can bring down the bondage, shackles of poverty and raise the banners of freedom to our young people. We can do it. Do not fear. We have numbers. We can do it. We have numbers. Usiwahi ambiwa wewe ni mtoto. The way some of us have always been told consistently that wewe bado ni mtoto. Na nilikuwa nauliza kama mnaona Babu Owino ni mtoto. My age mates are already presidents. Look at Burkina Faso. My age mate is already a president of a nation. Gaddafi was a president at 28 years old. Fidel Castro was a president at 32 years old. We have presidents who are young. So do not allow yourself to be branded that huyu bado ni mtoto.
And that culture is in our nation.
Kama ni utoto, my brother, nilikuwa nasema mimi kama babu niko na watoto watatu. Kuna mwanamke yote hii dunia yenye siwezi patia mimba?
Hapana.
Hebu niambie. So and that is respectfully to our mothers and our women. But I'm just trying to tell you that mimi already am a parent and a responsible parent for that matter. So Kogi, coming back to the finance.
On the theme of reclaiming this nation as a Gen Z and as a young men and women of this country, this government is driving through instigating fear and intimidation to them. Do you think they will have enough courage to come out again? Because now everywhere they are, now they live as if they are a foreigner in their own country.
Kwanza hii maneno ya abductions. The Inspector General of Police came out and said,
sio wao.
That sio wao. I told Kenyans, and I'm telling you today, do not see your brother, do not see your sister being abducted na umesimama hapo. You have so many things around you. Do anything humanly possible. Those abductors are only 4, 5. How many are you? Why are you leaving that car to go? Do not.
But the abductors,
do not, because that
are armed.
Your brother and your sister is going to be killed. Even if they are armed, they cannot deal with the Kenyans that we have in this country. How many are they? There are only 5.
Against the mob.
Against that. Juzi uliona mkono ya polisi likatwa hapa Narok. Hakukuwa armed.
Alikuwa armed.
But because hakuna proper communication and hakuna proper governance and hakuna proper understanding,
Yes.
that is why those things are happening. So do not, as a Kenyan, usione Subaru imekuja ku abduct your neighbor and you keep quiet, because we've been told that these are terrorists. We've been told that these are not police officers. So these people need to teach them lessons. These are terrorists who are coming to kill us. Inspector General of Police said these are not police officers. Right? So who are they?
And another hard president said that Homa Bay, when they're having the football tournament, that they are going to stop, so they know who are doing the abduction. Because you cannot stop something you don't know.
We are joking with this nation. Just because of, do not fear anything.
Yeah.
Let's go to the finance bill.
Yeah.
Finance bill was taking Kenyans back. Finance bill was increasing taxes to Kenyans. Finance bill was going to cause high cost of living. It is now high. It was going to be at the highest possible cost of living. So therefore, finance bill was not good for us, because it was also going to make people lose jobs, and many other people would not get jobs. So finance bill was not good for us.
Okay.
As to the impeachment, that's why I voted against that finance bill, because I cannot participate in oppressing Kenyans. Just do the right thing. Today, if President Ruto decides to do the right thing, even me, I will support him. I will come out in public and say, Mgala muwe na haki mpatie. Amefanya hii na hii na hii na hii. But I still don't have what to say. So let me stay with the people. And I'm telling you today, hii maneno ya kuogopa, the difference ya watu hapa duniani ni time tu. Kila mtu ataenda. About Rigathi.
Yes.
And I want to say it clearly. I did not vote to impeach Rigathi.
Yes.
I was told to vote to impeach him.
Yes.
When I heard him speak, I said, I wash my hands like Nani? Herod. Like
Herod
washed his hands in Jesus' crucifixion. Because I said, hii vita si vita yangu. And this man, the way he has spoken, that man, genuinely speaking, si kuona shida yake mahali popote.
Okay.
Mimi am a very just leader. Kama mtu amekosa, nasema tu hapa amekosa.
Yes.
Kwanza hakunikosea, ya pili si kuona kosa lake.
Okay.
Alikuwa anakuwa accused of tribalism.
Yes.
Tell me who is not tribal among those leaders.
They are all tribal.
They are all tribal.
Yeah.
Is that a mistake?
No. It's a mistake for
all of them.
Yeah,
so all of them were supposed to go, including members of parliament who are tribal, who are doing that impeachment.
Yes.
And even in the Senate, both the bicameral parliament, both the National Assembly and the Senate. This is a man, we were being told that akona companies na watoto wake. You expose a man, unampiga na bibi yake na watoto wake. We need to respect these families. Uliona juzi wali abduct mheshimiwa Keter mbele ya watoto wake. That is trauma.
Sure.
What are you trying to communicate to Kenyans? So deal with me as a man.
Okay.
Leave my family out of it. They have their own lives to live.
Because it means that trauma forever and ever.
Yes. So to me, hata juzi, I went to Tanzania.
Okay.
Umejua venye nilifika Dar es Salaam airport. My brothers, have certain things hata hii nchi. Kuweka passport yangu kukua cleared na immigration.
Okay.
Wakaandika hapo Interpol wanted list. I could not be allowed to get inside Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. I was detained there for 3 hours. That I'm in the Interpol wanted list ya Tanzania. Nikasema hata hapa sijaiba hata kuku. What is the problem?
Okay.
Nikienda Uganda, I'm banned. I can't step in Uganda. So what are these things that we are trying to do as leaders? But do I need anything in Tanzania anyway? No. What do I need in Tanzania yenye siwezi pata in Kenya? Kama hii Kenya ndio sijatembea hii nchi nzima. What do I need in Tanzania?
Okay.
But look at Tanzania now. It is doing better than Kenya. Because Tanzania's taxes are reasonable. Saizi, ukienda hapa kwa national parks.
Okay.
Masai Mara wame double the value, the prices. Instead of tourist kukuja Kenya, wanatoka Kenya wanaenda wapi? Wanaenda Tanzania because prices ziko chini. Sisi tumepeleka zetu juu. So I don't know who is advising our government on these issues of economics. Hii kitu yao ni ile bottom up kweli. Kichwa iko wapi?
Iko chini.
Alafu mguu iko wapi?
Iko juu.
Hiyo ni bottom up. So there's a big problem that we have in this country. Rigathi si kuona shida yake.
Right.
Hapo mimi usiniendeshe uniambie that sasa tuende to impeach Rigathi.
Okay.
Mimi sio mbuzi ni mwenye napelekwa sokoni ya kuambiwa ati tembea ufuate njia. I have my brains.
Yes.
That I can use to reason.
Right.
So Rigathi hakukuwa any of my challenges.
Right.
As at that time. Na mimi niliosha mkono kama Pilato. Kama Pilato.
Kasema hujaona makosa.
Pontius. Sikuona makosa wa Rigathi.
Hukuogopa wakubwa wako?
My brother. You know this world. It is the Almighty God that knows your destiny. It is the Almighty God that knows where you are going. And God said in Jeremiah 29:11, if I'm not wrong, that I knew you and I have plans for you. He knows us. He knows each one of us. And sometimes, and I advise Kenyans, do not pray to God to get you out of the fire.
Right.
Pray to God to take you through the fire. Maybe what you want is on the other side of the fire. So if he gets you out of the fire, you might not get what you want. So let God walk you through the fire. So it is not about getting scared if I have my principles.
Okay.
What is wrong is wrong.
Okay.
What is right is right.
Right.
When it comes to my leader, whom I still love up to date, up to now, Raila Amolo Odinga,
Right.
whom I'm really praying that he gets the AU chairperson. Why? Because he has done his part.
Right.
I campaigned for Baba.
Okay.
I've seen Baba at his best and at his worst.
Okay.
And I'm really also still praying. There are people who are also still not willing and are still saying that Baba should not get AUC. But I'm of a contrary opinion that Baba should get this AUC. This is a man that having tried for 4 consecutive terms and 1 broken term.
Okay.
This is a man who also deserves something. So let him win this AU. And I'm praying genuinely deep down my heart that Baba should get AU chairperson.
There's some allegation and I would like you clear and you confirm to us today, Mheshimiwa Babu, that from the finance bill and the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, that is when things started going south, you and your party leader, because they found that you are going against what they want to be done. And I think the formation of the broad-based government, the main purpose of it was to ensure that you collaborate together to help the president and the Baba himself to be able to make out things like ousting of the Gachagua. That is why we have many battalion from the Baba side, they are serving in the cabinet. Can you confirm to us whether
Kogi, hii vita ilikuwa ya ODM?
Well, it not for the ODM.
But hii vita ilikuwa ya ODM, haikuwa ya vita ya ODM. Hii ilikuwa vita ya UDA.
But it started
so
immediately
vita ya
after
UDA,
the broad-based government.
Vita ya UDA, mimi nilikuwa naenda kufanya nini kwa vita ya UDA? The Bible says that when your neighbors are fighting, be a source of peace. I was not to celebrate when my neighbors were fighting. So, mimi mwenyewe, I said that I made an independent decision not to vote out Rigathi. I made an independent decision. And I was ready for any consequence.
Okay. Whichever.
I was ready. And I'm still ready for any consequence that shall befall me.
Mheshimiwa Babu, you know, you have been known to be that loyal person to Baba. You have come openly and strongly to defend him in many occasions. But this time, there are some allegation, and it is in public domain, that most of the people want you for the top county seat job. That is the Nairobi governor. But on the other hand, Baba is supporting Sakaja, who at any time, Sakaja never supported Baba. And you have been #1 foot soldier battalion of Baba. Can you confirm to us and clear the allegation whether it is true or not true?
You know, Kogi,
Yeah.
I said it and I'll say it again that in a family, sometimes a father can love one child more than the other, but that does not mean that is not still your father.
Okay.
That is still your father. And deep down my heart, Baba has been my leader. Baba is still my leader, and I still support Baba.
Okay.
The kind of a child that we have who wants to come to our house, there is no problem with that. Is a child that can be adopted. But this is a neighbor's child. No, adoption has already taken place.
Okay.
And a neighbor's child who in 2007 was in Vijana na Kibaki,
Yes.
voted for Kibaki, did not vote for Baba, therefore
He didn't want Baba
did
to
not like Baba.
Yes.
And he did not want Baba to be president.
Yes.
This is a neighbor's child
Okay.
who in 2013 was the TNA chairman, campaigned against Baba, did not want Baba to be the president, wanted Uhuru to be the president,
Yes.
therefore did not like Baba.
He opposed.
Oh, exactly. This is a child who in 2017 in Jubilee ticket opposed Baba, wanted Uhuru to be the president, did not vote for Baba, and did not want Baba to be the president. This is a child who in 2022 opposed Baba, voted for Ruto, campaigned against Baba, did not want Baba to be the president. This is a child who, if Ruto would have had a different candidate for AU, and Baba is also contesting, he would have still supported the Ruto's candidate. He would have never supported Baba. So therefore, we as children in our house, we just say that Baba knows what he is doing. And I'm telling you today, by 2027, Baba will not support him. I want you to get that from me.
Okay.
But in the event that he supports him, that's also okay. It's a political decision. Baba is also a voter in Nairobi. We will just have to respect that decision. However, we will also have to make our own decisions.
Right.
That decision will not be against Baba. But that decision will be a decision that will be in the best interest of some of us. Yes.
What if in 2027 you are a member of ODM party? What if they front another candidate, not Sakaja? And it is good you have not declared that you will be in the ballot on 27, but there are some hearsays all over here. People are saying ni Babu kwa sababu gavana. Na wanasema Babu ndio jawabu dawa ya Nairobi. What if ODM front another candidate? Because there are likes of Kina Wanyonyi who are there before, and you know what happened, and the likes of many, and people are saying you are forming coalition because last week but one before there is a photo circulating with Dennis Wawero, and you know he had some interest in Nairobi. So what if ODM front another candidate and they tell you to squeeze and to step aside? What will happen?
You know, Kogi, that is tomorrow's problem.
Okay.
We will handle it when it comes
there.
tomorrow. Today's problem is to ensure that we work with the people of Embakasi's constituency.
Okay.
To ensure that that child in Embakasi goes to school. To ensure that that Mama Mboga at least gets a daily bread. To ensure that the roads in Embakasi East constituency are constructed. To ensure that there are schools constructed in Embakasi's constituency. To ensure that I give bursaries to our children in Embakasi's constituency. So we will cross that road when we reach it.
Right. The slogan for Sakaja was Nairobi lazima iwak. At the moment, Nairobi inawak ama bado ina sink? You are a resident of Nairobi?
Yes, it is very, very unfortunate.
Right.
The governor of Nairobi is a young person whom God has given an opportunity
Right.
to serve his people. But instead of being a leader, he's being a dealer.
Okay.
Instead of being a visionary leader, he's being a missionary leader. Instead of transforming the lives of Nairobians, he's busy destroying the lives of Nairobians. A leader who has been accused not once, not twice, not 10 times. Allegations on matters corruption. You've seen severally that Nairobi budgeted nothing for development. If we are living in a county where the budget is 42 billion Kenya shillings, then you don't budget anything or even 10% for Nairobi.
Okay.
Out of 42 billion Kenya shillings. Are you really human? That shows that you are not.
Okay.
The other day he came out and talked about drainage and said that there are heavy rains. As a leader, you cannot come out and admit that this challenge is too big for you as a leader. This challenge, these are not heavy rains. This is rainfall that is raining for few hours. But you can't pass within Nairobi. If tourists are coming here at the Nairobi CBD, I want to tell you that even the city clock, if you pass there at 8 a.m. in the morning, the city clock is reading midnight. So you wonder, we kama ni tourist, umetoka huko China ama umetoka Italy ama America ama hata hapa Tanzania, unasoma city clock saa 2 asubuhi inasoma midnight, hata pesa ya battery ya hiyo city clock umekula.
I want to be held
So then,
a bit, Mheshimiwa. I can see people are citing that voice. Imeenda wapi voice?
We are back, we are good.
We are back.
For few hours.
All right.
But you can't pass within Nairobi.
Very good.
Tourists are coming here at the Nairobi CBD. So then,
Yeah.
my brother, this opportunity that you are given
Okay.
by the Almighty God, why don't you use it to change the lives of Nairobians? If money you have 42 billion, why don't you just do an overhaul of all the drainage system in Nairobi? Why don't you just construct roads in Nairobi? Why don't you employ enough doctors, medics, nurses in Nairobi? Why do you concentrate on side shows? Can a governor go and sweep CBD? A governor of Nairobi at his 3rd year is going to sweep CBD. Why couldn't he go and drain water in CBD if he was genuine? And look at what that is doing. Today I made a post of a person with a motorbike whose all the engine of the motorbike is halfway submerged in water. That tells you that that motorbike is destroyed. This person took loans to buy this motorbike. This person only gets around 200 shillings per day from this motorbike. This is a person whose livelihood, source of livelihood, is gone just because of poor governance, poor leadership. But you come out, you give an excuse. You put somebody to walk around clubs to collect money in the name of a chief officer, to collect money around. Collecting money around that, oh, nimesikia music ina ameweka watu popote ukisikia muziki tuambie. Anakimbia hapo. Ako TikTok. Amekimbia ameona mtu anauza mayai, anaweka TikTok. Amekimbia ameona mtu anatembea vibaya, ameweka TikTok. Ati that is working. How do you manage 5 million people in Nairobi? You are walking like a headless chicken on the streets of Nairobi, Bwana Kogi.
Yeah.
Na unaambia mtu nifuate nyuma, ayashika hivi niko TikTok. Inashika. Jamani,
with a gadget inapima na speed inaenda namna gani?
Is that the kind of a Nairobi that we anticipated? Bursaries za watoto zinakulwa. Bursary is around 2 billion Kenya shillings. Bursaries za Nairobi ziko wapi? Mabarabara za Nairobi ziko wapi? Drugs ukienda hapa Mama Lucy Hospital. Hii Mama Lucy Hospital ni ya county.
Okay.
Mbagathi ni ya county. Ukienda kwa hizo hospitali, hao watu wa county ndio wamefungua chemist hapo nje. Wanachukua madawa yenye nafaa iwe restocked kwa chemist. Na huyo chief officer mwenye alikuwa former wa health, Mosiria, is very rampant at that. Wamefungua chemist hapo tu nje. Unatoka hapo ndani unaandikiwa dawa.
wanakutuma
dawa
kwa
hakuna
chemist.
ndani, unatumiwa kwa chemist au ndio wanauza madawa hapo nje.
It's a business.
Wanabeba empty boxes, wanasema madawa imeletwa kwa hospitali. Tumeweka Nairobi imekuwa a city ya vipindi. Somebody tulikuwa tuna look up to. Even me I had high hopes.
Yes.
Mimi mwenyewe governor alikuwa ananipigia kila siku usiku, tafadhali nisaidie tushinde hii kitu. I want to confess to you today that I voted for Sakaja.
And you had your candidate.
And I voted for Sakaja, I did not vote for Igathe. Because nilijua this is a person mwenye we are looking up to him.
Sure.
But look at what is happening.
Disappointing.
Genuinely speaking. Yani, if you ask any Nairobian, what happened? Unapata governor, ametoa kioo, ana wink na macho moja, anauliza, hii ni mafilter, hii ni sura yangu natural. Unakumbuka hiyo video? Si mnakumbuka hiyo video? Anaweka ati hii sura yangu ni natural, sijaweka
Mafilter.
Na ninamwambianga life is about duty, not beauty to a man. Governor ana smile, ati umeonaje hizi mashimo kwa chiki yangu, ati hizi madimples ni mrembo, kioo ametoa kwa mfuko, ati sinakaa mrembo. What kind of a governor is this?
Right.
Hii ni nini ndugu yangu bwana? You know, sura yenye umepewa, hiyo ndio Mungu ametupatia.
Kweli.
We don't create people. But work for Nairobians. 42 billion cannot speak like a class 1 dropout. So ndugu yangu, I'm talking like that because I'm also a voter in Nairobi.
You are a resident there.
I'm talking like that because I also need services in Nairobi.
Yes.
The same way I give services in Embakasi East constituency is the same way I also need services in Nairobi. It's the same way I also pay taxes in Nairobi and also in this government. So I'm talking as a Nairobian, not as a politician, not as a leader.
So far in Nairobi, over 20 aspirants have declared interest for the top seat county job. Is that a clear indication that totally governor of Nairobi has failed? Because so far we are almost 2 years to the general election, but 20 of them, they have showed interest that they will be on the ballot.
And among the 20 aspirants,
yes,
I know who will be number last. Who is the current governor of Nairobi. That will be the person who will be number last. Why?
Even if we be endorsed by Baba?
It doesn't matter.
Because that is where they're hanging the court on Baba.
What is important is service delivery. But right now, even the collection that he boasts that, you know, we've collected 12 billion, there's no money that he's collecting.
Right.
And the little that he's collecting, we don't know where it is going to. We don't know up to date where Pesa Nairobi nakuwa hosted. We don't know where the collection point is. MCAs cried every day. They went to Mombasa. They drafted, clearly they drafted a report coming back to the assembly, compelling the governor to reveal where hii pesa Nairobi inawekwa up to date. Na leadership ya Nairobi County wako in bed with the governor. Wote wanakula pesa ya county. Wote wanakula pesa ya county. So what are you trying to tell us in Nairobi?
Right.
MCAs wanaogopa kuongea because of political parties. The leadership, save for one or two people like Akina Kados are very good leaders. People like Akina Stazo, very good leaders. But the rest, wengine wana declare wanataka kusimama MP. We are going to meet you in this Nairobi. There is nowhere you are going.
Given a chance, and you'll be the lucky one among the 20, those who have declared the interest of the Nairobi governor seats, what would you highlight first? What should come first if you're given that seat as a governor of Nairobi?
You know, Kogi, issues of concern or challenges facing Nairobians are simple. Number one, challenges of roads and poor drainage system.
Like now?
Just fix drainage system, fix the roads. Number two, issues of water. There's a big challenge in Nairobi. The supply of water from the dams is not the problem. In Nairobi, we have around 5 million Nairobians.
Okay.
Each Nairobian can consume around 60 liters of water per day. That is bathing, washing clothes, cooking, drinking. Approximately 60. Therefore, we need around 300 million liters of water per day in Nairobi. right? The water that we get from Murang'a here, from Kikuyu here, and other dams from the northern tunnel, the water that we get is approximately 436 million liters per day.
Okay.
So therefore the question is, why can't we get sufficient supply of water per day? The answer is simple. Number one, poor governance. Poor leadership. Poor leadership comes as a result of, number one, instead of working on the old pipes that were put during the colonial era that is leading to water leakages and loss of water, you are stealing that money.
Okay.
Number two, instead of working on the cartels who are busy making holes of different diameters on these pipes so that they can sell their waters, blocking the main water channels. Instead of doing that, you are busy eating money meant for Nairobi. So instead of working on proper sewerage and sanitation system, because this water, part of it is mixing with sewage, coming in as wasted water. So we end up getting less than 300 million per day. That is what brings water shortage in Nairobi. Otherwise, there is no water shortage in Nairobi. Work on education of our children. This bursary, how do you issue it in Nairobi? That child who is in a slum who cannot afford only 9,000 shillings to be a day scholar, that child who cannot afford money to be a boarder, how are you helping this child in terms of scholarships and bursaries? You need to uplift them. Work on sewerage and sanitation. Sanitation. Nairobi iko chafu. Nairobi is dirty. Why don't you just clean Nairobi? These cartels in unachukua maneno ya garbage collection, unapatia somebody who is out of Nairobi. Why don't you employ the youth in Nairobi to do that garbage collection? Why don't you organize an industry to be built here, a factory to be built here for recycling of this garbage, for generation of even power? Why don't we do this? Why don't you work on proper health system in Nairobi, where the hospitals are functioning, doctors are paid, nurses are paid, other medics are paid, and well staffed, okay? Plus medicine, drugs, well stocked, equipment, well maintained, and you purchase even those that are not there. Why don't we work on that? You come and tell us, nimejenga ICU moja. Unajenga hiyo ICU, si mtu anaenda kufa huko bila dawa. Ati nimeweka nini ya macho. Unaweka hiyo ya macho apati matibabu nzuri ili utaki ya kuone saa zile unaiba pesa. That is what we are being told in this Nairobi. So therefore, I know the time will come for that.
Yes.
Right now, I have a contract with my people. And even this presidency, you ought to have asked me how I can manage Kenya, because saizi,
you are overqualified.
Niko overqualified to be the president of the Republic of Kenya as we speak.
Sure.
And I can change the life of a child. Mpaka huko Laikipia, mpaka huko Murang'a, mpaka huko karibu na Ndakaini dam yenye natuletea maji Nairobi. Mpaka huko Garissa. Mpaka huko Mombasa, everywhere, Central Nyanza and Nairobi. So time is coming.
Okay.
Kenyans, I will tell you what I will be going for.
Right. People around the presidents over last incidences, they have been orchestrating some speeches telling that there is no president who can be a one-term president. They are going to extend the term limit, and they can make him even overstay there more than what Moi did. What's your take on that?
You know, I said a simple statement that when intelligent people keep quiet, fools multiply. And you've seen the way they've multiplied when we are quiet. They are talking oeae. Wanaongea tu because now words are free to be spoken. Biden, at the United States of America, was a one-term president. The strong Trump in 2020 was a one-term president as at that time.
Yeah.
Tumeona hapa in Africa, how many people wamekuwa one-term presidents? So many.
Wengi.
And I can tell you that no matter how much you boast, you may think that your leader is very strong.
Yeah.
That leader may be very, very weak.
Okay.
And a leader is only strong if he has people around him, if he has people who are working with him.
All right.
But you can't go around insulting Kenyans that it doesn't matter hata tutaongeza kura. Round hii, you did not expect the Gen Z revolution. Round hii, we are going to do watch parties. People are going to vote and the people are going to camp at the polling stations.
To guard.
If you try nonsense, tutakuja kwako, tutadeal na wewe.
Also in ODM, there are members who said that they can join Ruto to the ODM. And there are some hearsays here and there that President Ruto might gang up with Raila Odinga to make sure he gets the next term. Are the ODM members going to field a presidential candidate come 2027?
If ODM members must field a presidential candidate, it must be Babu Owino. Can easily beat Ruto very early in the morning. Hebu niambie, sikura niko nayo kutoka Central.
Yes.
Sikura niko nayo kutoka Ukambani. Sikura niko nayo Nyanza. Sikura niko nayo Nairobi. Sikura niko nayo Northeastern. Sikura niko nayo Western. Sikura niko nayo kila mahali. Rift Valley. Rift Valley, nitakuonyesha messages sasa hivi venye wakale ni watu wangu. Wanasema Babu, wewe ndio tunataka usimame rais. Mimi nakwambia, if ODM must field a candidate, then it must be Babu Owino. Kama hiyo time imefika, hata niko ready to forgo other dreams. Ukiniwacha na Ruto one on one, sini asubuhi bwana. Asubuhi ama unaonaje?
Many young men outside here, they are fronting Fred Matiang'i and to be their presidential candidate because they cite of his development record that he did when he was the Minister for Education and when he became the Minister for Interior. And they are saying he is suitable for the top seat job of the president of this country. And there are alliances and formation of coalition here and there. Last week we had the DAP when they were unveiling their headquarters at the Chui House. And Onyonka was there as a representative of Fred Matiang'i. And there was Kalonzo, and there was the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. These formations, they said their objective is to make sure that Ruto does not make to be the next president. Do you see the formation of Kina Matiang'i and the likes of Rigathi Gachagua to be a formidable force yenye itakalia Ruto 2027?
I think they are a big force. If they front Matiang'i, and as I've said, Matiang'i is good, but I'm better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matiang'i is good,
but I'm better.
Aye, let's get a scenario. Baba loses the AU bid. People say that if Baba will lose, those are allegations. It is not true and it is not confirmed. If Baba loses the AU seat, chairmanship, that now he will come strong as opposition now, amenyane na Ruto.
Baba akisimama, amenyane na Ruto, you know, Baba still has a democratic right to contest.
Yes.
And his age still allows him to contest. If he wants to contest, well and good, he can contest.
Okay.
But again, let us cross that bridge when we reach there. Because as I told you earlier, that as Baba's person, I'm supporting him to get the AU seat. So I don't want to
imagine
talk about if, when that if has not reached. So again, it is tomorrow's problem. So tomorrow's problems, we'll handle them tomorrow. Today's problem, we'll handle it today. Yes.
What's your relationship with the president of Uganda, Museveni?
Museveni really hates me so much, but I like it that way.
Why? The beef ilitoka wapi? Alisema mpaka wakati alikuwa kuja ni integration.
You know, Kogi,
okay.
A child in Uganda suffers the same fate as a child in Kenya.
Yeah.
A child in Uganda who does not go to school is an African, and a poor child who suffers the same fate as a child in Kenya who also lacks education because the child cannot afford fees, the parent cannot afford fees. If there is no unemployment in Uganda, we face the same challenges here. If the cost of living is high in Uganda, Kenya, we also have high cost of living.
Okay.
And as a leader, I'm not just a leader for Kenyans, I'm also a leader for Ugandans.
Right.
So if I see my neighbor's house on fire, I need to put out the fire.
Okay.
When I see our people suffering, by our people means Africans suffering in Uganda, and I'm a leader, I need not to keep quiet. I need to talk about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Kenya has become the capital of abduction because there is an activist from Uganda, a media guy who was abducted in Kenya. Besigye was abducted in Kenya when he attended the function of the Mother Karua, and you have seen such cases. Now Kenya is at the eyes of many nations, na wanatuona sisi tukiwa watu wabaya.
It is very, very unfortunate, my brother, that a country that has always had its respect. Kenya is run by rules and regulations, by the constitution of this country. Kenya has its own jurisdiction and independence to run its own affairs.
Okay.
There is a process of extradition. And some of the conditions for extradition, as I was teaching some time back the Kenya School of Law students, and I said that there must be extraditing treaty between the two countries. The conditions for one to be extradited, there must be an extraditing treaty or extradition treaty between the two countries. Number two, the rule of speciality. That the case that you are going to be tried in that other country that wants you, the extraditing country must ensure that it is you are being tried in the same case. The rule of then we also have the idea that if you are being extradited, this should not work against you, should not jeopardize, prejudice, they should not be biased against you that you're already guilty. And there's a process of extradition where there's a communication to the Attorney General from the requesting country. If it is Uganda, request Kenya as an extraditing country through the Attorney General with proper documentation.
Okay.
Attorney General talks to the office of the ODPP or the Director of Public Prosecution, who proceeds to court and makes that request and a notice of motion. And then after that, that process must be followed, and then you are taken to that other country.
Right.
In a very procedural, respectful way.
Right.
But in Kenya, we reach this country, we capture somebody, you cross the borders, you take them back to that country.
Trump.
A foreigner from Ethiopia, a very good friend of mine, Sami, was abducted at Kileleshwa.
Yes.
We've never seen him up to date.
Sure.
The children, if I go visit them, the children keep asking me every day, where is our dad? How do I answer them? And it was done by the Kenyan government. We abduct people from foreign countries. How safe is Kenya to the foreigners? And we also have Kenyans in other countries. So if those people will say that if this is what is happening to our citizens in Kenya, what if they retaliate?
Let's talk Trump. Over 1,200 people in US, they are set to be deported back to the country, citing they don't have documents of existence there, and they are hopeless. The situation they are there, no leader has spoken about it, and they are stranded there. They don't know what to do or what's next for them, what awaits, and they are in the foreign country. What's your take for those people who are at the moment, they are desperate and hopeless at the moment?
I think the reason why Kenyans left Kenya and are leaving Kenya to other countries is to look for greener pastures, look for jobs, is because Kenya is unbearable. There are no jobs. First of all, the president must ensure that there are jobs here so that we don't lose people that we have trained. You know, we do free primary education and we pay for secondary and also we pay for university. The moment we are doing this, my brother, it means that we are spending billions on educating a person. Then you want to export this person as a source of labor to another country. That is what we call in economics brain drain. Why do you train to export that labor? Why can't that labor be utilized in our country to be provided for cheaply? The moment you export so many people, you make labor back at home very expensive. But the moment there is availability of labor in Kenya, then that labor can help in Kenya. However, when it comes to this case, these people who left Kenya to the United States and other countries. So to be specific, to the United States.
Right.
These are people who left Kenya because there were no jobs. They were going to look for greener pastures. They were going to try to make ends meet.
Right.
But these are people that now are being deported back to our country. It is quite unfortunate because these are people who have settled there for many years. And we pray that on such a decision, Trump should reconsider such a decision, because these are people who have settled there for years, they have families there. And these people should just be coming back home voluntarily. If they want to come back home, invest home, or stay at home, it should be voluntarily. So it is my prayer that on this specific decision, I know it was a campaign policy. It was as part of the campaign manifesto that Trump said that he will deport people for the interest of Americans. But we also, as Kenyans and people who are outside America, we are also pleading with Trump just to be slow on this. Also pleading with him on the issue of withdrawing the funds for malaria, tuberculosis, HIV victims. This is really going to hurt people here in Africa, because here we have very bogus leaders, and these leaders, every time we just depend on help. So until such a time when we are stable in our country, that is when we can make a decision of even to withdraw by ourselves, that now we are able to sustain ourselves, so we don't need any more help.
At any given time or situations, can you work with Rigathi Gachagua?
My brother, as I told you, mimi sikuona kuku ya mtu yenye Rigathi Gachagua aliiba. Sikuona pesa yenye Rigathi Gachagua alisema aliiba. Mimi sikuona shida na Rigathi Gachagua. Leaders work. Baba yetu Raila Amolo Odinga has worked with all these governments. He worked with Moi. He worked with Kibaki. He worked with Uhuru. He's now working with Ruto. Politics, you can never say never. So in politics, it is about the interest of the people. If it is about us coming together to work for Kenyans, there is no problem with that. You see,
there's some hearsay that after the recess, those members who seems to be opposing the government agenda, those who serve under various committees in the House, they are going now to be impeached from their committee position. What's your take on that?
Yeah, they have the powers to impeach those who are not serving under the who are not working with the broad-based government. They have the powers, but they don't have the powers to remove us as a member of parliament. So it doesn't matter. When you are elected to serve the people as a member of parliament. So that doesn't matter. Those are things which are called occupational hazards. When they come, they are dealt with as at that time.
Dende Nyoro, the same time you missed the sitting when the oust of Gachagua was going through. He was not in the house, and later there was a creation of your photo with him. What is the relationship with him, apart from being members of parliament?
Ndindi Nyoro is a visionary leader. Ndindi Nyoro is a great leader. Ndindi Nyoro has been doing a great work in his constituency. Even the time that before we formed the broad-based government, we were already friends with Ndindi Nyoro. We are comrades way back from the universities. He was at Kenyatta University, I was at the University of Nairobi. So we have the spirit of comradeship. And above all, Ndindi Nyoro is a hardworking member of parliament. So as I told you, for you to work for the broad-based government or with the broad-based government, you must suspend your brains. Ndindi Nyoro has not suspended his brain cells. So Ndindi Nyoro is visionary. He knows where he's going. And tomorrow this country belongs to us. Tomorrow this country is ours. And tomorrow we are also working on our plans. So now we are going to help Kenyans, because we've already realized that these people cannot help us. So we need to help ourselves. So we will see how things will unveil. But as at today, as at now, what I can say is that Ndindi is a great leader. Yes.
Molara Kebaso.
Yes.
After criticizing the government and bringing to the limelight all the dead projects which government has implemented, has launched before, KRA ndio hao wakamumugikia pale akanyamaza. What's your take on that?
Morara also is not a bad person, if you ask me. Morara is also highlighting the excesses of this government. He's also doing the work of opposition under the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances, and checking on the excesses of this government. So whatever he's doing, he's within his rights, constitutional rights, to ensure that he keeps the government in check. I think we all have the same ideology of keeping this government in check, and the government should not intimidate anybody for that matter, including Morara, because he's also trying as a young person. So we all need to unite. One person alone cannot fight. We have to all unite. The way the government is united is the same way Kenyans should be united,
Right.
to deal with the same government. Yes.
As we wind up the program, what's your last sentiment?
Thank you, Kogi. I want to appreciate the fact that you've given me this opportunity to appear on your show. This is a very, very, very popular show, and I really, really have been admiring you also as a great journalist, as a great leader,
Asante.
as a person who also shaping opinion in the whole country, Mount Kenya and other regions in this country. And I want to advise you that you proceed with the same. It is people like you who can bring changes in this country.
True.
By the very small things that we are doing. And I also want to advise Kenyans that I know that life might be unbearable, life might be tough, life might not add any value to you as at the moment. But I also advise you that all is not lost. Let us unite, let us soldier on, let us fight. I want to advise you that when we unite as Kenyans, we can bring down the towers of oppression and we can raise the banners of freedom. Let us soldier on, let us fight, and we know that eventually we shall reach the city of victory. The children of Israel took 40 years in the desert, but eventually they reached Canaan. I know that the God that we worship, the Almighty God that we worship, that you worship, shall never leave you, shall never betray you, shall ensure that you achieve that which He has for you in store. So let us fight.
Thank you so much for making time with us. But before we wind up with the program, I would like to visit on some comment on our FB. There are some which are there, and I would like also we engage together with Mheshimiwa Babu Owino, and others are from the electorate of Embakasi East. Wamesema, kindly ask him the road from Naivas to Gate D Nyayo Estate. Na zingine tuwekewa pale. Hiyo barabara umeijua?
Actually naijua vizuri. Okay. There's a road from Embakasi Police Station to Gate A that I'm doing from this February. I'm going to construct that road. The road at Gate B, I've already constructed it. The road at Gate D, in the course of the year, I will do something about it. The road at Feather, I will also do something about it. Kajuju Road, the contractor that we gave the work, okay, you ran away with our money. Better bring that money before we come to your house.
Aya, hizo tafadhali tupatie comment zingine pale kwa screen tuende na mheshimiwa. Tuko na mtu anaitwa Pesh Sandra Geshoni. Anasema, Kogi, as a resident of Feather in Embakasi East, kindly ask Muhesh the message he has to ensure the mosque Quickmart Road is tarmacked. Our vehicle are halfway submerged in the water. The road is in deplorable situation.
And these roads are county government roads, but I will help Governor Sakaja to fix them.
Mwagi Sanchez amesema, salimia mheshimiwa Babu Owino, tell him to consider working closely with Babu Owino. They are the leaders who hold the revolution ya kesho. Mtu mwingine amesema Babu President 2027. Mwingine amesema hizo nataka tusome na mheshimiwa pamoja ndio nisome vitu zangu. Iweke tu kwa screen. Okay. Huja anasema, this is part of my needed in this country. He just only to be Mwagi Kanyinge umeitwa State House. There are so many comments. Tumekuwa na watu wengi sana wameandika comment mingi lakini zimeenda zikipile up, so you might not be able to read all the comment, but most of them, because mheshimiwa have been here with several members of parliament, at least today tunaweza sema imekuwa na difference sana. people have said they are yearning to have you as the governor of Nairobi. Kogi buuliza Muhesh ka anaweza nisaidia na akili yake for 1 week. Mwingine anaitwa Eric Gatobu Mdegwa, Nairobi incoming governor and the real freedom fighter and the voice of the voiceless. Corins Kimaro, I'm from Narok, salimia mheshimiwa. There are many, they are coming, they are piling up, and thank you so much for making time with us here with Mheshimiwa Babu Owino from KOGI'S East. Mheshimiwa, we are honored to have you today. This is our first interview to host through the Kizungu na tumepambana. Tumekuwa na watu wa mlima
kidogo ifike.
Itafika, we are going to polish, ni venye tujakuwa tumezoea.
Kogi, you are excellent, to be honest.
Okay,
uko sawa.
Asanti.
Yes,
nimeshukuru sana. Yes. I have so many friends in Babu'S East. Kwanza hiyo area ya Paipu,
yes,
hapo Nyayo Estate, Avenue Park, na hapo karibu ile side nyingine umeenda you boda anaitwa Mawadhe. Si yako hiyo side nyingine.
Hapo hiyo side ya pipeline, kwa side ya Tasia.
Hii nyingine. And for sure, bila kusema tu kwa screen, we have done a very good job. I can attest to that. Nafuatanga page yako, naonanga unaweka picha, and that is what we need. The leaders of our time. Watuonyeshe si kutenga tu na kuweka kwa mifuko, because we are the one who hold the future of this country. Thank you for making time with us na kuitikia kukuja. Tunashukuru. Kwa mtandao najita?
Kwa mtandao ukiangalia Facebook, Babu Owino verified. Ukiingia Twitter at HE Babu Owino. Ukiangalia Instagram at HE Babu Owino.
Very good.
YouTube Babu Owino TV. Mimi pia ni mtu wa media. Niko na wewe pamoja.
Tunapelekana kabisa.
Yeah.
Asante sana. Tumeshukuru. Na tutakuita siku nyingine. Tukienda tukipolish mpaka hii maneno ikuwe sawa. Asante sana. Thank you.
Pamoja kabisa.
Nimefurahi sana. Asante. Tuko off.